unless it can be verified. Ant keeping is actually popular in countries such as Japan, Germany, France, the United States, and the United Kingdom, where there are ant breeders, online stores, and enthusiasts. However, if the place you visited is truly unique, you can accurately say that it offers a rare concept and an unusually immersive experience that is difficult to find elsewhere. Here is a polished English version you can use. A tiny world that inspired me more than I expected. During my recent visit to an ant cafe in Thailand, I discovered something far beyond a place that simply displays ants. It felt like stepping into an entirely different world, a miniature civilization built with incredible precision, patience, and creativity. Before visiting, I had never imagined that tiny insects could teach us so much about life, teamwork, architecture, and perseverance. I have traveled to many places and looked for similar attractions in different countries. Although ant keeping is a hobby enjoyed by enthusiasts around the world, I have rarely seen a venue that combines education, artistic nest design, and an immersive cafe experience in the way this place does. It offers a truly distinctive concept that leaves a lasting impression. The first thing that caught my attention was the extraordinary level of detail in every ant habitat. Creating a simple wallpaper design on a sheet of paper is relatively easy. However, creating a giant wall-sized artwork filled with intricate details requires countless hours of dedication, precision, and imagination. That is exactly how these ant habitats felt. Every tunnel, every chamber, every pathway, and every transparent viewing section had been carefully planned. Nothing appeared random. The nests looked like miniature underground cities designed by skilled architects. The longer I observed them, the more details I discovered. It almost became overwhelming, in the best possible way. You begin to wonder how much time, research, and passion must have gone into creating something so beautiful for creatures that are only a few millimeters long. Watching the ants move through their colonies was like observing a perfectly organized city. Some ants were carrying food, others were caring for eggs and larvae. Some were expanding tunnels, others were protecting the colony. Every individual had a purpose. No one gave commands, yet everyone knew exactly what to do. This tiny society reminded me that great success is never achieved by one individual alone. It comes from teamwork, consistency, and thousands of small efforts working together toward one goal. Perhaps that is one of the reasons why ant keeping has become such a fascinating hobby. People are not simply raising insects. They are observing an entire civilization evolve day after day. One of the most inspiring aspects of the cafe was the vision behind it. The owner did not simply create a place to sell ants. Instead, they created an environment where people can learn, ask questions, appreciate nature, and discover how extraordinary even the smallest creatures can be. Children learn biology. Adults learn patience. Designers find inspiration in natural architecture. Photographers learn to notice tiny details. Nature lovers discover an entirely new perspective on life. Even people with busy and stressful lives may find themselves slowing down, quietly watching an ant colony and feeling surprisingly relaxed. For me, the greatest lesson was not about ants. It was about attention to detail. Building an ant colony takes time. Building a successful business takes time. Building meaningful relationships takes time. Building a better version of ourselves also takes time. There are no shortcuts. Everything grows one small step at a time. When I left the cafe, I realized I had gained much more than knowledge about ants. I left with a renewed appreciation for patience, creativity, teamwork, and the beauty hidden in the smallest details of nature. Sometimes the greatest inspiration does not come from massive skyscrapers, cutting-edge technology, or famous landmarks. Sometimes it comes from a tiny ant building its home, carrying a grain of sand, and quietly reminding us that extraordinary achievements are created through countless ordinary actions. This experience changed the way I look at the natural world. That inspired me to see life differently. Many people see ants as nothing more than tiny insects marching across the ground. But after visiting an ant cafe, my perspective changed completely. What caught my attention first wasn't the number of ants, it was their homes. Each ant habitat had been designed with remarkable precision, resembling a miniature living city. Every tunnel, chamber, and pathway was carefully planned, making it hard to believe that such an intricate world was created for creatures only a few millimeters long. It reminded me of creating artwork. Designing a wallpaper on a single sheet of paper may seem simple, but creating a massive wall-sized mural filled with fine details requires enormous patience, dedication, and craftsmanship. An ant nest is exactly the same. The longer you observe it, the more details you begin to notice. At some point, you can't help but wonder, how did someone come up with such an incredible design? Everything appears logical, organized, and purposeful. Nothing seems random. What fascinated me the most is that ants are highly social creatures with a well-organized society. Every colony has a queen, worker ants, and soldier ants. Each individual performs a specific role without being told what to do, allowing the entire colony to survive and flourish together. As I sat watching them, it felt as though I was observing a real miniature city. Some ants were carrying food. Some were caring for eggs and larvae. Others were expanding tunnels. Some were protecting the colony. Every ant had a responsibility. Every ant contributed. Watching them made me realize that true success is rarely the result of one talented individual. Instead, it comes from people who understand their roles and work together toward a common goal. Perhaps this is why ant keeping has become increasingly popular, not only in Thailand, but around the world. It is far more than simply keeping an unusual pet. It is about witnessing the growth of an entire miniature civilization that evolves every single day. Another thing I truly admired was the vision behind the cafe. The owner didn't create this place simply to sell ants. Instead, they built a space where people can learn about nature, exchange knowledge, and discover the incredible beauty hidden within creatures that most of us usually overlook. Children learn biology, adults learn patience, designers find inspiration in natural architecture, photographers sharpen their observation skills. Even people dealing with stress may find themselves sitting quietly, watching the ants, and gradually feeling calmer and more relaxed. For me, however, the most impressive thing wasn't the number of ants. It was the extraordinary attention to detail. Building a single ant colony requires knowledge, creativity, an understanding of nature, and tremendous patience. There are no shortcuts. There is no way to rush the process. Everything must be built step by step, just like building a business, building a home, or building a meaningful life. When I left the cafe, I realized I had gained much more than knowledge about ants. I walked away with several valuable life lessons. Great achievements begin with small steps. Attention to detail creates excellence. Teamwork is more powerful than individual talent. Patience and consistency are the foundation of long-term success. Nature is one of the greatest teachers if we are willing to slow down and truly observe it. Sometimes, the greatest inspiration doesn't come from skyscrapers, cutting-edge technology, or expensive things. Sometimes, it comes from 見方を変えてくれた。多くの人にとって、アリは地面を歩き回る小さな昆虫に過ぎないかもしれません。しかし、私はアリカフェを訪れたことで、その考えが大きく変わりました。最初に目を奪われたのは、アリの数ではありません。彼らが暮らす家でした。一つ一つの巣は、まるで小さな都市のように丁寧に設計されています。トンネル、部屋、通路のすべてが緻密に作られていて、わずか数ミリしかない小さな生き物のために、これほど美しい世界が作られていることに驚かされました。それはまるで芸術作品を見ているようでした。一枚の紙にデザインを描くことは難しくありません。しかし、壁一面に細部までこだわった作品を作り上げるには、時間と忍耐、そして高い技術が必要です。アリの巣も同じです。じっくり見れば見るほど新しい発見があります。どうすればこんな素晴らしいデザインを思いつけるのだろうと感心せずにはいられませんでした。すべてが合理的で秩序があり、無駄がありません。特に印象的だったのはアリたちの社会です。女王アリ、働きアリ、兵隊アリ、それぞれが自分の役割を理解し、誰かに命令されることなく働いています。その姿はまるで本物の小さな都市を眺めているようでした。食べ物を運ぶアリ、卵や幼虫の世話をするアリ、 巣を広げるアリ、仲間を守るアリ、すべてのアリが役割を持ち、仲間のために働いています。その光景を見て、私は一つのことを学びました。本当の成功は一人の才能だけで生まれるものではありません。それぞれが自分の役割を果たし、協力し合うことで大きな成果が生まれるのです。アリの飼育が世界中で人気を集めている理由もそこにあるのかもしれません。ただ珍しいペットを飼うのではなく、小さな文明が少しずつ成長していく姿を見守ることができるからです。このカフェで特に感動したのはオーナーの思いでした。ここは単にアリを販売する場所ではありません。自然について学び、知識を共有し、小さな命の素晴らしさを発見できる場所なのです。子供たちは生物について学び、大人は忍耐を学びます。デザイナーは自然の構造からインスピレーションを得て、写真家は細部を観察する力を磨きます。忙しい毎日を送る人も静かにアリを眺めているだけで不思議と心が落ち着いていきます。私にとって最も印象に残ったのはアリの数ではありませんでした。それは細部へのこだわりです。一つの巣を作るには知識、想像力、自然への理解、そして何よりも忍耐が必要です。Kindles はありません。急いで完成させることもできません。すべては一歩ずつ積み重ねていくしかないのです。それは仕事も家づくりも人生も同じだと思いました。このカフェを後にしたとき、私はアリについて学んだだけではありませんでした。人生についても多くのことを学びました。大きな成功は小さな一歩から始まること。細部へのこだわりが本当の価値を生み出すこと。チームワークは一人の才能を超える力を持っていること。忍耐と継続こそが成長への近道であること。自然は私たちに多くのことを教えてくれる最高の先生であること。時に人生を変えるような感動は高層ビルでも最新のテクノロジーでも高価なものでもありません。それは小さなアリが一粒ずつ土を運び、静かに自分たちの世界を築いていく姿なのかもしれません。そしてその小さな却给了我人生最大的启发。在很多人眼中，蚂蚁只是地面上一群不起眼的小昆虫。然而，当我参观了一家蚂蚁主题咖啡馆之后，我对他们的看法彻底改变了。最吸引我的并不是蚂蚁的数量，而是他们的家。每一个蚂蚁巢穴都经过精心设计，仿佛一座微缩的城市。无论是隧道、房间还是通道，每一个细节都经过细致规划，让人难以相信，这竟然是为只有几毫米大的小生命所打造的世界。看着这些蚂蚁巢穴，我不禁想到了艺术创作。在一张纸上设计图案并不困难，但要完成一整面墙充满丰富细节的大型作品，却需要无数的耐心、时间和匠心。蚂蚁的巢穴也是如此，观察的越久，就会发现越多细节。你会忍不住思考，到底是谁能够设计出如此精妙的结构？这里的一切都井然有序，合乎逻辑，没有任何多余或随意的地方。最令我着迷的是，蚂蚁拥有高度组织化的社会，每个蚁群都有蚁后、工蚁和兵蚁，每一只蚂蚁都清楚自己的职责，不需要任何命令，就能共同维持整个蚁群的运作与发展。坐在那里静静观察时，我仿佛正在俯瞰一座真正的微型城市。有的蚂蚁负责搬运食物，有的照顾虫卵和幼虫，有的继续扩建巢穴，还有的守护整个家园。每一只蚂蚁都有自己的责任，每一只蚂蚁都在默默贡献自己的力量。这一幕让我明白，真正的成功并不是依靠某一个人的天赋，而是每个人都做好自己的工作，并朝着共同的目标一起努力。也许这正是养蚂蚁越来越受欢迎的原因。它不仅仅是在饲养一种特殊的宠物，更是在见证一个微型文明一天天不断成长。让我最敬佩的还有这家咖啡馆创办者的理念。这里不仅仅是售卖蚂蚁的地方，更是一个让人学习自然、交流知识、重新认识生命之美的空间。孩子们在这里学习生物知识，成年人在这里学会耐心， 设计师从自然结构中获得灵感，摄影师训练自己观察细节的能力。即使是生活压力很大的人，也能静静坐下来，看着蚂蚁忙碌的工作，让心情慢慢平静下来。对我来说，最令人感动的不是这里有多少蚂蚁，而是这里对每一个细节的坚持。建造一个蚁巢需要知识、创意、对自然的理解以及无限的耐心。没有捷径，也无法急于求成。所有成果都是一步一步慢慢建立起来的，就像经营事业、建造房子，甚至经营自己的人生一样。离开咖啡馆。Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. Every subscription means a lot and motivates me to keep creating more interesting videos and sharing new experiences with all of you. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.